so that I will do the rest after our teaching. So welcome to Yes You Can International Academic, where we are teaching on mindset for transformation. Let me just make sure everything is all right. Okay, mindset for transforming relationship, marriage, and family. We've started the journey so far since 1st of May, and we are about to round it up tomorrow. And I want to express my gratitude to Professor Dr. Pratik and Mungekar, and also Right Reverend Professor Akpabio, because they are the pillar of this masterclass right from the beginning. And I really appreciate their time. So now we just want to go straight to that, and then we can do all our favorite or whatever later. So here we welcome again Professor Dr. Pratik Mungekar, who is presently doing his tour, his professionalism tour at Philippines this morning. So we want to appreciate him for joining us again this morning. And he's going to be sharing with us on this particular important topic on relationship in education, bullying, and suicide. Dr. Mungekar has received an impressive 300 plus honorary doctorate from all over the world, making him one of the most recognized experts in his field. He has also taught over 18,000 plus students and career guided 49,000 plus students, and he continues to inspire and educate future leaders. He has appointed 70 plus organizations at various high positions at the same time, also appointed ambassador by 65 bodies, plus bodies, almost in all disciplines. In recognition of his contributions to teaching and research, Professor Dr. Mungekar has received 950 plus international, national, and state awards, 9 national scientific patents, and 18 world records, making him one of the most decorated academic in the world. Dr. Mungekar is a visiting faculty member at 63 plus many national and foreign universities, and he served as the Director of Research Innovation at Offa University, Lighthouse Leadership University, Dominion of Impact International Bible University, and the Global Ministry Discipline Institute, the Discipleship Institute, and the Dean of International Development at Theophany University. Professor Dr. Mungekar is also a successful author of 7 books, including Introduction to Sustainable Development Goals, Education and External Assets, Leadership, Superintendence, and Sustainable Horizons, Finding Balance, Inscribe and STEM Cell Science, which is the bestseller. He's also co-author of 15 books, represented India in more than 400 plus international conferences as keynote speaker, published more than 45 plus research papers in various international journals, also working as editor for some journals, and many, many more. He's also the Vice Chancellor at Unified Theological Seminar USA, University of Kingdom of Atlantic in Singapore, and many, many more. Additionally, he's the first youngest Pro-Chancellor, founder of the University of Expertise, which speaks to his entrepreneur spirit and dedication to innovation. Okay, so another thing is Dr. Mungekar's achievements has earned him several prestigious titles, including Lecturers Magnificio, LM, HRH, Duke, HRH Sir, and the Fellowship United Kingdom's highest academic honor called Medalist. He is also the first Indian to receive the distinguished title of Professor of Wisdom from Institutions Cultura Colombina Castor Puerteca, Magia, Pluma, Colombia, South America. So, and many, many more, but we won't waste your time this morning. We would like to welcome Professor Dr. Patrick Mungekar to quickly share with us this morning. You are welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Elizabeth, for the kind introduction. And thank you so much, Professor, for allowing me to speak first.
Yes, our Papa.
Okay, yes. So today's I have assigned a topic to discuss about relationship in education, bullying and suicide. So, good morning, everyone. Greetings from India, and today we are going to explore a critical and very sensitive topic, the relationship between bullying and suicide within the context of education. So this is an issue that affects students, educators, and communities at large. And understanding it is very essential for creating a safe and supportive educational environment. So first, I would like to emphasize on the definition of bullying. So bullying is a repeated aggressive behavior intended to hurt another individual physically, mentally, or emotionally. It can take various forms like physical bullying, means hitting, pushing, or other physical assaults, verbal bullying, name calling, insults, or derogatory remarks, social bullying, spreading rumors, excluding someone from a group, or other actions that harm someone's social relationships, and cyberbullying, using digital platforms to harass, threaten, or humiliate someone. Now, studies indicate that a significant percentage of students experience bullying. For example, in the United States, about 20% of students report being bullied at school each year. Cyberbullying also affects about 15% of high school students. There are victims of bullying often experience severe emotional and psychological effects, including anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. So these effects can lead to difficulties in academic performance and social interactions. Now, what do you mean by suicide? So suicide, um, understanding suicide is the act of intentionally causing one's own death. So according to the World Health Organization, WHO, it is the second leading cause of death among 15 to 29 years olds globally. In the educational context, youth suicide rates have been rising with notable increases in the prevalence of suicidal thoughts and behaviors among students. So there are some risk factors for suicide, like mental health disorders, for example depression, anxiety, then traumatic experiences, for example abuse or loss of a loved one, then lack of social support, exposure to suicidal behavior of others including family members or peers. So let us elaborate all these risk factors for suicide in the context of education. So the first one is mental health disorders. Okay, in that the very first comes depression. So students with depression often feel persistent sadness, hopelessness, and a lack of interest in activities. So these feelings can lead to suicidal ideation if felt untreated. Then comes anxiety disorders. So chronic anxiety can create overwhelming stress and fear, making students feel trapped and helpless. So finally, or potentially leading to suicidal thoughts. Then other mental health issues also we have to consider, like conditions such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and borderline personality disorder can also increase the risk of suicide among students. Then the second is traumatic experiences. Here, the very first comes abuse. So, physical, emotional, or sexual abuse can leave deep psychological scars. Victims often struggle with feelings of shame, guilt, and worthlessness, which can contribute to suicidal tendencies. Then, loss of a loved one. The death of a family member, friend, or significant other can lead to profound grief and despair. Without proper support, students may feel isolated and consider suicide as a way to escape their pain. And comes exposure to violence. Witnessing or experiencing violence, whether in the home, community, or school, can lead to trauma and increase the risk of suicidal behavior. Then comes lack of social support. Okay, here comes isolation. So students who lack supportive relationships with family, friends, or peers may feel lonely and disconnected. So social isolation is a significant risk factor for suicide, as it can exacerbate feelings of helplessness and depression. Then bullying, as discussed, victims of bullying often feel uh, what you can say alienated and rejected by their peers, leading to severe emotional distress and an increased risk of suicide. Academic pressure is also important factor here. So excessive stress due to academic expectations and performance pressures can also contribute to mental health struggles, making students feel overwhelmed and potentially suicidal. Then exposure to suicidal behavior of others, like family history. A history of suicide or suicidal behavior in the family can increase the risk of students, as they may perceive it as a possible solution to their problems. Then peer influence also, um, we have to consider. If students are exposed to suicidal behavior among their peers, it can create a contagion effect where one suicide can lead to others, and particularly in close knit communities like schools. Then media influence, like media's portrayals of suicide, especially those that romanticize or sensationalize it, can influence vulnerable students and increase the likelihood of suicidal behavior. Then comes comprehensive support and intervention. So, mental health services like schools should provide access to counselors, psychologists, and mental health resources to help students cope with their issues. Education and awareness is also very important. Raising awareness about mental health and suicide prevention among students, teachers, and parents can help identify at risk individuals and provide timely support. Then peer support programs also we should have, we have to arrange, like encouraging peer support groups and mentorship programs that can create a supportive community where students feel safe to express their feelings and seek help. So by understanding and addressing these risk factors, educators and communities can work together to create a safer, more supportive environment for students, reducing the incidence of suicidal behavior and promoting mental well-being. Now, the next point which I'm going to emphasize on, the link between bullying and suicide. The first is psychological pathway. Bullying can lead to feelings of helplessness, worthlessness, and isolation, which are significant risk factors for suicidal ideation and attempts. So the stress and trauma caused by bullying can exaggerate existing mental health conditions and further increasing the risk of suicide. Now, there are numerous studies have shown a strong correlation between bullying and suicidal behavior. Victims of bullying are more than twice as likely to consider suicide and attempt it compared to non-victims. Both bullies and victims are at increased risk of suicidal behavior, with bullies possibly experiencing guilt, uh, remorse, or being involved in other risky behaviors. Now, let's elaborate. What do you mean? What is exactly psychological pathway? So, feelings of hopelessness, worthlessness, and isolation. Uh, this comes under this psychological pathway. Like victims of bullying often feel powerless to stop the abuse, leading to a sense of helplessness. And this feeling can diminish their motivation to seek help or believe that their situation can improve. Worthlessness. So, repeated bullying can erode a victim's self esteem, making them feel unworthy and insignificant. So, this can result in severe depression and hopelessness. And the final stage is isolation. Like bullying frequently isolates victims from their peers, either because they are deliberately excluded or because they withdraw to avoid further harm. So, social isolation can intensify feelings of loneliness and despair, contributing to suicidal thoughts. Now, exacerbation of existing mental health condition, the stress and trauma identified or inflicted by bullying can aggressive pre-existing mental health issues such as I said earlier, also depression, anxiety, or PTSD. So when a student already struggling with mental health issues faces bullying, their risk of suicidal ideation and attempts significantly increases. So continuous exposure to bullying can lead to a chronic stress, impacting the students' emotional regulation and increasing their vulnerability to suicidal thoughts. Then there are, various research evidences also, like correlation between bullying and suicidal behavior. So the existing research indicates a strong correlation between these two, bullying and suicidal behavior. So victims of bullying are more than twice as likely to consider and attempt suicide compared to their non-bullied peers. So this heightened risk underscores the severe impact bullying can have on mental health. Longitudinal studies have shown that the effects of bullying can persist into adulthood, with victims experiencing higher rates of mental health issues and suicidal behavior long after the bullying has stopped. Then there are risks among both bullies and victims. It is not just victims who are at risk. Bullies themselves are also at an increased risk of suicidal behavior. They may experience guilt, remorse, or be involved in other risky behaviors that can lead to suicidal thoughts. Then bullies often have underlying issues such as conduct disorders, substance abuse, or a history of being bullied themselves, so which can contribute to their own mental health struggles and suicidal behavior. Then there is also an important issue which nowadays trending, like cyberbullying. So the anonymity and reach of cyberbullying can intensify the psychological impact. So victims of cyberbullying may feel that there is no escape, as the bullying can follow them home and be seen by a wide audience, exaggerating feelings of humiliation and helplessness. So while the link between bullying and suicide is strong, protective factors such as strong social support, positive relationships with adults, and effective coping strategies can mitigate the risk. So schools and communities here play a very critical role in supporting these protective factors. Then there are intervention strategies involved, like school-based programs. So implementing anti-bullying programs and policies that promote a positive school climate can reduce bullying incidents and provide support to those affected. Then mental health support also we can provide. So providing access to mental health services, including counseling and crisis intervention, can help students cope with the effects of bullying and reduce the risk of suicide. Then peer support, encouraging peer support groups and training students to recognize and respond to signs of bullying and suicidal behavior in their peers can create a more supportive school environment. So understanding the link between bullying and suicide is crucial for developing effective prevention and intervention strategies. So by addressing all the root causes of bullying and providing robust support systems, we can reduce the incidence of both bullying and suicide, creating a very safer and healthier environment for all students. Now, there are some preventive measures and interventions like school policies and programs. So, implementing comprehensive anti-bullying policies that clearly define and prohibit all forms of bullying. Then we can promote a positive school climate through programs that support respect or encourage respect, inclusion, and empathy among students. Then we can provide access to mental health services, including counseling and support groups. We can establish peer support programs where students can help and support each other. We can educate the educators, teachers, staff, and students about the science of bullying and suicidal behavior. We can train educators on how to intervene effectively and provide support to students in distress. Then we can also encourage parents to talk openly with their children about bullying and mental health. Then we can engage community organizations. We can uh, seek help from all those community organizations in creating a supportive environment for youth. So these are the some factors which we have to work on. Okay, like in school policies and programs, implementation is not just a solution. Okay, we have to implement in a very comprehensive and anti-bullying manner, or we have to incorporate all these anti-bullying policies. Like policies should provide clear definitions of what constitutes bullying, including physical, verbal, social, and cyberbullying. So this helps in recognizing and addressing all forms of bullying effectively. Then we have to establish rules that explicitly prohibit bullying and outline the consequences for engaging in such behavior. Consistent enforcement of these rules is essential to deter bullying. Then we have to create also accessible and anonymous reporting system for students to report bullying incidents without fear of retaliation. So this encourages more students to come forward and seek help. Then we have to implement programs that teach and promote respect, inclusion, and empathy. So activities such as group projects, peer mentoring, and diversity workshops can help build a supportive school community. Then we have to integrate SEL, which we call social emotional learning, SEL, into the curriculum to help students develop skills in managing emotions, setting goals, establishing positive relationships, and making responsible decisions. So we have to also ensure that students have access to trained counselors and psychologists who can provide individual and group counseling, crisis intervention, and ongoing support. Then also we have to include mental health education in the curriculum to reduce stigma and increase awareness and mental health issues and available resources. Then we have to develop peer mentorship programs where older students mentor younger ones, so providing guidance, support, and a sense of belonging. Okay, then if we can create a student-led support groups where peers can share their experiences and provide mutual support in a safe and confidential environment, that would be a great help to support these groups. Then train teachers and staff and students to recognize the signs of bullying and suicidal behavior. So we have to take workshops or seminar like this. This includes understanding the behavioral, emotional, and physical indicators of distress. Also, we have to encourage a culture where everyone is responsible for noticing and addressing bullying and mental health concerns. So this collective responsibility helps in early identification and intervention. Okay, and also not just educate the educators, but we have to provide training on how to intervene in bullying situations effectively and safely. So this includes de-escalation techniques, conflict resolution, and providing immediate support to victims. Also, we have to equip educators with strategies to support students who are at risk of suicide, including how to have open conversations about mental health and connect them with appropriate resources. Then the parents' role is also important. Like we have to conduct workshops and provide resources for parents on how to talk to their children about bullying, mental health, and suicide. So open and honest communication can help children feel supported and understood. Then also we have to encourage parents to regularly check in with their children about their school experiences, friendships, and emotional well-being. So here, we can seek help from community organizations. So we can collaborate with local mental health organizations to provide additional resources and support for students, such as counseling services, workshops, and crisis intervention. Also, we can involve community centers, youth groups, and religious organizations in creating a network of support for youth. Community programs can, offer safe spaces and activities that promote positive social interactions and mental well-being. And finally, uh, I would like to conclude my talk with this conclusion, like the relationship between bullying and suicide in the educational context is a profound and complex issue that demands attention from all stakeholders like educators, parents, students, and the community. So by understanding this relationship and implementing effective preventive measures, we can work towards creating a safer, more supportive environment for all students. And remember, addressing bullying is not just about stopping negative behavior. It's about supporting a culture of respect and and support where every student can thrive. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for attention, and let's work together to make our schools and society a safe and nurturing place for all students. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Pratik Mungekar, for this your presentation on relationship in education, and we are looking the area of bullying and also suicide. And I know you travel a lot, you address so many students, in your own addressing them. How can you start off a conversation about bullying? I know you do it like openly, but how can you start off the conversation about bullying in school so that you give them the knowledge? How can you do that?
Yes, like starting a conversation about bullying in schools, um, it's so challenging. But in classroom discussions also, we can start like open forums. So first, as an educator, we have to create a safe space in the classroom where students feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and experiences about bullying. So we have to start. I generally start with open-ended questions like, what does bullying mean to you, or have you seen or experienced bullying at school? Like that we have to start. Then we can take help of storytelling, like we can share age appropriate stories or books or videos that address bullying. Then we can discuss the characters, experiences and feelings. And I generally ask students how they would respond in similar situation. Okay. Then, yes, when I been invited as a speaker in some schools, as a psychologist, as a counselor, and then I make sure that I present some former victims of bullying, their stories or activities, to talk about their experiences and the impact of bullying. So this can make the issue more relatable to the students, and they can relate easily. Then also I organize assemblies, like some lectures with interactive components such as skits or role playing or Q&A, question answer sessions, to engage students actively in the conversations. Then as a mentor, we have to establish some programs where older students mentor younger ones. This is a new solution which I am proposing.
Yeah.
Okay, so discussing topic like bullying and how to handle it. If the older students, if they teach to the younger student, then it will be easy for the younger ones to to implement, because they, as a as an educator, they have their pre assumptions, like some of the students, they what they lack confidence, or they do not want to share their problems with the teacher, but they can share their problems with the with with
Senior.
other colleagues or friends.
Yes.
So this is very important. So we have to encourage students to create anti-bullying campaigns,
Mm-hmm.
including like we can give them activities like posters or social media initiatives, or some awareness events. So that way we can empower students to lead these efforts, and that can be very impactful.
Mm.
Then I also tried to incorporate, as I said earlier, also social emotional learning, which is SEL.
Okay.
Okay. So I am requesting many principals that they can incorporate SEL into the curriculum to teach empathy, conflict
Yeah.
resolution, and
Yeah.
communication skills.
Yeah.
So lessons can include activities and discussions on how to handle bullying and support peers. So if they incorporate, then that will be a
Mm.
a great help for the students. Then cross subject integration. Use subjects like literature, history, and social studies to explore themes of bullying, power
Mm.
dynamics, and human rights. So that way we can encourage a broader understanding of the issue. Then when I meet some parents, okay, I took parent counseling sessions also, because parent counseling is more important nowadays.
Yeah.
Student counseling, there are a lot of counselors, they are doing everyday student counseling, but no one is doing parent counseling.
Parent counseling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So through conducting, I'm conducting recently, last month, I conducted a parent counseling workshop, um, to educate parents on recognizing sign of everything like bullying,
Mm.
and how to
Mm.
talk to their children about it. And there are ways to support them. So we have to educate the parents also. Parent teacher meetings also
Yeah.
helps, like use these parent teaching meetings not to say or not to inform about their child's growth or the marks, but we can discuss schools anti-bullying policies and share strategies for addressing bullying at home and in the community. Then
Mm.
also I support open door policy, like we have to promote an open door policy where students can talk to counselors like me or some others, and trusted teachers, very important, trusted teachers about their concerns regarding bullying. Then we have to establish support groups for students affected by bullying, providing a platform for them to share their experiences and receive support. So these
Mm.
are some ways by which I am incorporating what I'm trying to say
Yeah.
throughout this lecture.
Absolutely. You've
In
said
fact,
it
in
all.
fact, in
Mm.
fact, I have my own book on this very particular topic,
Okay.
finding balance, exploring counseling and psychology, psychotherapy. Because many of the people, in fact, educators, students, they are confused, or they think that counseling and psychotherapy is the same. No, there is a difference. Counseling is different, psychotherapy is different. So
Mm.
different. So to differentiate these two concepts, me and my co-author has written one book
Book.
on
What's the
counseling.
title? What's the title of the book?
The title is Finding Balance, Exploring Counseling and Psychotherapy.
Where can we get that book?
Oh, um, it's in the Philippines, because the publisher is from Philippines.
Okay.
But soon it will be available on international platform like Amazon, so you can
Okay.
order your copy.
Okay. Just remind me whenever it's available.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Continue.
this book has, we printed the third edition, because all the first and second edition sold out. So it is getting a lot of appreciation from fellow counselors and educators also. If possible, I will request my publisher to have a, um, what you can say, ebook, so that all
Yes.
international
Yes.
audience they can have. So I'll request my publisher to have a ebook of the same book.
Yeah. That would be great. That would be great because we need to be learning more from that book as well. So thank you so much. I really like the way you use your experience to practicalize the theory of this bullying and suicide because we need to keep talking about it, learning about it, and also involving. I like the way you said that sometimes as well we need to involve the parents We need to educate the parents. We also need to involve the students. And also I like that idea of in the same school where the older ones can be mentoring the younger ones.
Yeah.
I don't know that they haven't been doing that, because when I was growing up, we have I don't know what they call it now. Apart from school prefect, we have um school mother. That's what we call them, school mother or school father. So that means we can relate to them, especially we that are in boarding house. We can relate to our school mother. We learn from that. So it's also a good idea, because sometimes maybe the parents are not there at that time. Maybe you are in boarding house at that time, or parents have traveled, and that you need to offload your mind to somebody. Even the teachers might be busy with their paperwork and other things like that, but you really need to be expressing yourself, because the more you can express yourself, the more you are freeing yourself, you are freeing your mind, and you get better understanding, and then you feel confident as well. So, and I think that is also very, very important. And the one you talk about, the SEL, social emotional learning, is also very important, that we gain more knowledge. I'm hearing that for the first time. I know of SEN, which is special education needs. I know about that one. And I know about other things like counseling, psychiatry, physiotherapies and other things. But these words that you just mentioned is very new to me. So I'm going to be searching more and studying more about that, because every other thing to save children out there, every other thing to save the youth, because I know that the adults, they know how to control somehow, but children are vulnerable to all this kind of thing. And and it scares some children as well. It makes sometimes parents want to hold on to their children not to go to school. And also sometimes parents feel like they are not being heard when they complain about it, or they misinterpreted, or that kind of thing. And then sometimes it looks like you want to solve the problem, you want to involve in the conversation with the problem, but it's also in one way escalate the problem, because the student will look at that child they were bullying, that is telling the parents, and the parents are reacting. It's like they escalated. So we have to come out with a common ground where everybody's safe, those bullying and those that are victim of bullying. So we have to, because like you said, bullying can lead to suicide, because suicide means that I'm alone in this world, and nobody cares, nobody listens to me, I'm suffering in silence. What's the point of living? So bullying is part of it, also leads to suicide as well. So that is why we need to, if we possible, to learn more about bullying, the consequences, the causes of it, the effects of it, and also to see where we can solve the problem, if it's possible to lessen it or to eradicate it. The last one you also said, which is very important, that we are not focusing only on bullying. We also need to focus on prevention. Prevention means that we need to be teaching more on moral values in schools. I remember when I was growing up in my school, in the morning like this, we have assembly. The teacher will address us positively, and then they will lead us to pray. In those days, I don't know if most of the schools do that anymore. They lead us to pray. They instill in us the value, the moral values, how we can respect one another, appreciate one another. You understand? But those ones are wading away. And that is why this bullying is crippling in. You understand? It's like people just behave, they don't care, or they want to take authority into their hands. So that is why, and I think that is also very important, that we bring back the moral values, and also the spiritual part of it. because you can't grow. A child cannot grow without having the relationship with God. Because when you have the relationship with God, then the fear of God will be deposited in you. And when you have the fear of God, you won't wake up in the morning going to school to go and bully others or to cause trouble, because the fear of God is there, because you know God better and you have allowed God to rule and to reign and also to direct you every day of your lives. And not only that, because sometimes you even have parents that have already trained their children, you understand, with these values. But because they go to school, they look at others doing it and nobody's correcting them. So they end up joining them, so it's like a bad influence. So that is why the love of parents as well to the children are very important. Because if the love is there and the fear of God is there, they will also know their stand. They will know when to say no. They will build their confidence and self-esteem. So when they see their friends doing that, it's number one to find a way of correcting their friends and say, oh, that's not the way, that is not good. Or try not to involve in what your friends are doing. And I believe, because like I always say, if you train yourself, if you change yourself, if you better yourself, it will influence people around you. You understand? So that is why we need to be supporting our children more, so that when they go out there in the world, they will be able to say no, they will be able to set their boundaries, and they'll be able to maintain their standard. So on this note, I want to say thank you so much
Yeah,
for,
and one more thing
yes,
I want to add.
yes,
Uh, Recently, I've been, I revisited. I would like to request to all our learners and listeners that um, just watch our movie, The Shawshank Redemption.
the social,
The Shawshank Redemption. It's a movie, uh, and I have published an article on that movie also. I have written a review. I'll send you the link of my article, published
yes,
article later on.
yes, please send
Um,
it to me.
Yeah. So as I revisited, I just read the article. It's a small article so that you will understand, and the people will understand how I propose one solution that if the older students, okay, if they can mentor the younger students, so that's the best example they have shown in a very different manner in this movie.
Okay.
Uh, the Shawshank Redemption, I was struck by its enduring power and the timeless lessons it imparts. So this movie is released a year before my birth. Okay, so it's a very
Wow.
so
And you still get that.
this cinematic masterpiece continues to resonate deeply, reminding us of the profound human capacity for hope and the transformative power of friendship. Okay, now the social redemption is a story of resilience in the face of adversity. Now there is a Andy difference. There is a one guy wrongly convicted of murder. Okay, endures years of incarceration at social state, what you can say, in jail.
Mm.
Despite the uh, bleakness of his circumstances, Andy maintains an unwavering sense of hope. So
Mm.
his determination to preserve his dignity and find redemption serves as an inspiration. So one of the most what you can say important lessons from the film is the importance of hope. So in the darkest of times, it is hope that
Mm.
sustains us,
Mm.
guiding us through the storm and remaining us that better days lie ahead. So
Yeah.
Andy's belief in the power of hope not only sustains him but also uplift those around him, offering a glimmer of light in the in the midst of despair. Moreover, this particular film celebrates the transformative power of friendship. So Andy forms a deep bond with a fellow inmate, Alice, which he affectionately called Red. So that friendship that transcend the confines of their prison walls through their what you can say mutual support. Andy and Red, both the friends, find solace and strength and proving that genuine human connection can flourish even in the most unlikely of places. Okay. And this film particularly also underscored the importance of perseverance and resilience. Despite facing seemingly insurmountable obstacles, these two fellows, Andy remains steadfast in his pursuit of freedom and justice. And his resilience in the face of adversity serves as a proof to the indomitable human spirit, reminding us that we are capable of overcoming even the greatest of challenges. And ultimately, this social redemption is a timeless masterpiece. I believe that teaches us valuable lessons about hope, friendship, and the power of human spirit. So as we advance our own trials and tribulations, we can draw inspiration from these two fellows, Andy and Red, their friendship, their struggle, how they face their challenges, and how they find the solutions. Remembering that no matter how bleak the circumstances may seem, there is always hope on the horizon. So, see, these are some lessons which
Yes.
I learned from this movie, and this is very important. Which this film we can connect with this today's topic also, suicide and bullies. How
Mm-hmm.
how the friends can support each other in their challenges, despite of their different opinions and different views.
Mm.
So for that reason, I would recommend all the listeners or viewers to watch this movie so that they also can get something from this story.
Okay.
Yes,
Can you do me a favor? Can you send me the link on
yes, I'm
my
sending.
messenger? Yeah, send me the link, and then we can also use it to encourage others as well. The
Sure.
more we can do. Right. Thank
It's
you
a
so
30-year
much.
old movie.
It's very old movie, but sometimes the old
Feels good.
matters. I'm sure Papa Fabio can testify that, because all these old movies, we need to be bringing them back, because it
Yeah.
makes sense. There is wisdom in it. There is a lot of experience in it. So that is why we sometimes we also need to, as individual, to always look for mentor, which is very important. Work alongside with people that are older than us. Some of them has got full wisdom that we can learn from. I remember when I was growing up, I always like to sit down with older people, to sit down and be listening to what they have to say. They share their proverbs, their wisdom, their experience, and that is how we are learning. That is how we're learning. That's how we are gaining. So I want to seize this opportunity to say thank you so much, Professor Dr. Pratik Mungekar from India. Thank you so much for joining us today. It has been an awesome time for the last past 1 hour, and we really appreciate that. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Okay, you can still hang around if you still have time, so that you
Yeah.
can also learn from Papa as well. Papa sat down patiently to listen to you. That's how we learn. You pour and then you receive. You give and receive. I believe in that principle. You don't just give, 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 give. You also receive. And through your receiving, you're showing respect and humility. And then when you give, people are willing to receive from you. So thank you so much for that.